Well, if there's one thing that's for sure about James Gunn, it's that he always has a response for everything. Now, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing when it comes to talking about the head of a major studio, but like it or not, that is where we currently find ourselves when it comes to the head of DC Studios. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Now, I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. This is the last thing that I wanted to talk about coming off of my much-needed hiatus. But once again, James Gunn, DC, and Superman seem to be dominating the news cycle right now, for better or for worse. So I'm going to do my best to get through this and give you the unbiased and unfiltered analysis that only I can give. So while I was taking a break from getting called a piece of shit over my movie opinions, I was still getting hit with this flood of DC-related drama. The biggest thing being this whole controversy about a post that a supposed Snyder fan made urging people to spoil and review bomb Superman. Now, there's been a lot said about this post already, with some people even calling it pathetic, and if in fact it is real, I would happen to agree with them. To me, there is no room for this sort of thing in any fandom at any time. As much as I've personally been unimpressed with a lot of the things I've seen of Superman up until this point, I obviously would never co-sign something like this, and I certainly wouldn't go out of my way to try to ruin this movie for anyone who is excited for it. Although, to be fair, some people say that me just talking negatively about the movie somehow ruins their experience, but I'll never really understand that.
S-O-F-capital-T, soft, huh?
I don't know how many of you noticed this, but I'm not really a big online movement guy. I don't call for boycotts of movies and shit like that. If you personally feel strong enough that you need to boycott a film as a way of having your voice heard, then more power to you. But for me personally, when any movie comes out, I look at it as I have a job to do. And I know some of you don't believe this, but when it's time for me to sit down and review a movie, any movie for that matter, I put all of the outside noise leading up to it to the side, and I judge the film on its own merits. And I'm going to do the same thing with Superman when it is released. If this movie ends up surprising me, I will certainly tell you so. If it ends up confirming a lot of my suspicions, I'm going to tell you that too. What I won't do is give in to the fan war bullshit, a lot of which is brought to my doorstep for obvious reasons.
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
But the one thing that you will come to learn about me, if you take the time to do so, is that I no longer look at movies from a fan perspective. And I think that's a big reason why there is a disconnect between me and some of the people who hate watch this channel. You see, I am here to analyze film. I am a film aficionado, and you will see me doing that far before you will see me engaging in any kind of fanboy activity. Make no mistake about it, I am well aware that there are toxic people in all fandoms, and it's a big reason why I try to remove myself from those conversations as much as possible. Because at the end of the day, it's just not productive. I think we need to move past our own biases and start to see things for what they truly are. Now, don't get me wrong, I will speak up for fans when I feel like they are being treated unfairly. Just like I will call out a fandom if in fact they are being toxic.
How can fandom be toxic?
And again, if this post is in fact real, yes, it is toxic, yes, it is petty, and yes, it is pathetic. But the problem right now, especially when it comes to DC fandom, is that you don't really know what to believe. There's just a lot of manipulation going on, especially when it comes to social media and the media itself. I mean, we've seen unhinged people like this in fandom before, so it is believable. James Gunn himself, of course, responded to this controversy, saying, quote, "I think we will survive. I'm not sure the 8 people that listen to that guy are going to impact the course of events." And I do think he's right in the sense that whatever is going to happen with this movie is going to happen regardless of this post. The only pushback I would give to his response is that I don't know why he would acknowledge it at all. And yes, I know he was asked the question, but all it really does by acknowledging it is giving the person who created it the attention they crave.
It's true.
James Gunn wasn't done there. He also addressed the decline of the MCU in a Rolling Stone interview, a franchise he is obviously very familiar with. James Gunn said, quote, Disney forcing Marvel Studios to significantly increase the MCU's output killed them. Saying, quote, I don't even know if it's really their fault. That wasn't fair. It wasn't right. And in this case, I once again have to give him credit because he is 100% correct. The MCU killed itself by oversaturating the market with mediocre or worse content. And if in fact Marvel Studios was forced to do that by Disney, it all but confirms a lot of my complaints about the MCU and the comic book movie genre in general. That being a studio-driven creative process, a filmmaking by committee process is not the most efficient way to tell stories.
Man, I'm tired of being right.
And the hits just keep on coming from this Rolling Stone interview. James Gunn himself also revealed that he recently killed a DC movie because the script wasn't good enough. Saying, quote, everybody wanted to make the movie, it was greenlit, ready to go. The screenplay wasn't ready. I couldn't do a movie where the screenplay's not good. Now this is where James Gunn tends to get himself in trouble when he's trying to be overly transparent. Because he says things that contradicts things that he said in the past. Because he did say not too long ago that nothing will be greenlit in the DCU until they have a finished script. Yes, that very much is a contradiction, and the result of someone trying to over-explain everything. My other issue with this, and this is just my personal take, is how bad must that script have been for a mediocre at best writer-director like James Gunn to say it wasn't good enough. And this is kind of my issue with him leading the charge at DC to begin with, because I just don't think that he is the creative mind that some people make him out to be. So the idea of him telling anyone that their writing isn't good enough is kind of comical to me.
You serious?
Even more so if the movie in question does happen to be The Batman Part 2, which some people are speculating that it is. Imagine James Gunn telling Matt Reeves that his script isn't good enough. I mean, the jokes write themselves. In reality, the movie in question was probably the rumored Authority film that pretty much no one was looking forward to anyway. James Gunn, of course, did shut down speculation that The Batman 2 is cancelled in the same Rolling Stone interview. And he did so in a very strange way, saying, quote, it's not cancelled, we didn't have a script. Matt's slow. Let him take his time, let him do what he's doing. God, people are mean, let him do his thing, man.
I ain't got a good brain.
Now obviously I'm all for a writer-director taking as much time as they need with a project to make sure that it's right. I think we need more of that in the comic book movie genre. And I do think that that lends itself to the supposed quality over quantity approach that James Gunn wants to take with DC. I just found it kind of weird and frankly disrespectful while also being unprofessional that he called Matt Reeves slow. And again, I'm still not convinced that the Batman 2 delays weren't initiated by James Gunn and studio meddling. I'm still very much convinced that James Gunn doesn't want competing Batman projects because he knows deep down that he cannot compete creatively. I was once excited about the Batman Part 2, but at this point, 3 or 4 years later, whatever it's been, I'm finding it hard to still give a shit. I think the time for that sequel might have come and gone, unfortunately, regardless of who is responsible for that movie not being out yet.
Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now?
In the end, I actually agree with some of James Gunn's explanations this time around, and not so much with others. If I'm being honest, all of this only makes me yearn for July 11th even more. Not because I'm excited for the movie, but because once the movie comes out, we might actually get some relief as it pertains to James Gunn, DC, and Superman discourse that frankly I am burnt out on. I say again, this simply cannot be over soon enough.
Y'all be cool. Nah.